Billionaires funding influencers. So apparently a billionaire is funding Clavicular and has been funding Clavicular, supposedly. And apparently the dude that is funding Clavicular was on the Epstein files quite a bit of times. And he is a billionaire. I don't trust billionaires, so I don't trust them. So I don't trust Clav. But as always, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I thank you guys for all the love and support. And let's get into the video.
He asked Piers Morgan if he would apologize for being in the Epstein files.
Would you like to apologize for being with Ghislaine Maxwell and being in the Epstein files? Would you like to apologize for that?
No.
Based. He's based. Yes, sir. Good question. I'm not gonna lie. Yo, the Epstein files, all the crazy shit that's going on in the US, all the crazy shit that's going on with them folks. You know, them folks that's blowing up them other folks, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Actually, them folks, I don't think there's no saving them folks. You know what I'm saying? I don't think the next generation even gonna fix that. I think they're gonna be too brainwashed. However, in the US, I feel like, yo, whatever generation is controlling us right now, whatever generation Trump is in, when them niggas die out, I feel like the world is gonna be a little more put together. You know what I'm saying? I feel like old folks be, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what they be having going on. If you like 50 or older, you kind of like diluted a little bit. A little diluted. But I feel like the new generation, niggas don't really play shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the Epstein files, a lot of them are old dudes and this and that. I feel like the next generations are going to be cool. But yeah, we might blow the whole earth up before that. But who the fuck knows? But anyway, I feel like that's a good question. Shout out to Clav. You know what I'm saying? He's based.
No, because
Based, no apology.
Seriously,
Yeah.
though, what's going on with this guy? I'm sure everybody that knows him has heard about the Peter Thiel accusations. And I want to state clearly that I am very suspicious of this woman. Because not only did she seemingly come out of nowhere, but she works for the Dubai royal family. Who is she? And why does she try to...
I did see this shit and I was like, I've never heard of her. She paid $15,000 to have Clavicular on her video or to interview him or whatever the fuck. And then Clavicular kicks her off for asking a certain question. It's very weird. This is very odd shit going on. I don't know what's going on, but it's fucking weird. And the video I watched, they were like, who would pay $15,000? But obviously it's working because we talking about her. We don't know who the fuck she is. But type shit.
accuse Clavicular of being funded by Peter Thiel? But also, why did Peter Thiel invite Clav to a party? Since at least 2017, the people invited to party with Peter Thiel, at least the ones we heard about, were usually CEOs, billionaire investors, and politicians. But Clav himself has always said he was non-political. But still, there's been a lot of association with his name. And
it was for his booty hole. I'm convinced billionaires are into some weird ish, bro. For you to be a billionaire, you gotta be a terrible person. You gotta be a terrible person to be a billionaire. Because at that point, like, you don't even need that money. That's make-believe money. That's pretend money. It's pretend money at that point, bro. You damn near can't even spend that shit. So you shouldn't be a billionaire.
Peter. But when I think about Clavicular being invited to...
Look at that arm. This is the arm of a nigga that take hella steroids. Hella steroids. For what? For this arm? Looks max. You do all this looks maxing for what? For this arm? Let me move this out the way. This is the arm you looks max for, bro? My arm better than that. Hold on, let me show you my arm, bro. My arm better than that, bro. Look at that. Yeah, catch me from the side. Nigga be like, ugh. My arm better than that, bro. Nigga do all this looks maxing for nothing. Watch it. Look at that. It don't look big on the cam, but it's like, it's my whole hand, bro. That's like my whole head right there. Y'all need to stop playing with it, boy. You know what I'm saying? Nigga looks maxing for what? And this nigga glazing. Bro, why are you glazing? I've been seeing this. I be seeing him. I forgot what clips I be seeing him in. They're all like comedy skits. But he's smiling too hard. I recognize this guy though. He's from some comedy skits. I can't remember. He be smiling hard as fuck in his comedy skits too. Damn. I can't remember a singular skit from him, but I recognize bro. For sure.
Peter's party. It also makes me think about the several news outlets that reported that Peter's alleged boyfriend that he cheated on his husband with died mysteriously.
Hold up. His alleged boyfriend that he cheated on his husband with. Clavicular, you know why you was invited to that party, brother. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. There was only one actual but about it. And that was your butt. That was your butt about it, boy. Yo, what the fuck, bro? Deceased? Was found deceased at the bottom of his Brickell apartment complex. Bro, the billionaires be getting away with too much shit because niggas don't just be out here just offing they shit, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like if a nigga wanted to go ahead and just off his shit on some crazy shit, you know, ain't no notes, ain't no like reasoning, like niggas just be dying. You fuck around with a billionaire, you just die. You fuck around with them folks, you know what folks I'm talking about. You just die. Oh, it was a, you know, they off themselves. They off themselves. They shanked themselves 15 times in the back. How, nigga? How the fuck you shank yourself 15 times in the back? You know what I'm saying? Just real like diabolical shit like that. It's like, come on, bro. Y'all niggas think we stupid. This nigga just all of a sudden up and dead. He offed himself while fucking with a billionaire. Like, if there was a billionaire woman out there, I don't care if she married, whatever, this, that, whatever, and she was fucking with me, I'm gonna be rich as fuck. Why would I off myself after I become rich as fuck? No reason. Absolutely no reason. Let's be real.
Seriously, after working with people behind the scenes to push Peter out of politics. Now,
Damn.
Peter Thiel is a man who was mentioned over 2,000 times in the Epstein files, and he also received over $100 million from the U.S. government.
Damn.
If you know who Peter Thiel is, then you don't need me to give you a rundown on why he scares me. But he's best known for being the founder of a company that totally doesn't store people's data, despite the fact that it was named after a fictional mass surveillance device from Lord of the Rings. Which
Damn.
I actually didn't know at first, but I should have figured it was something sinister since Palantir is not a real word. But recently, there's been a rumor that the billionaire Peter Thiel was helping fund the rise of Clavicular, which is possibly due to people trying to link the similarities.
No wonder he be acting weird towards women, and no wonder he be acting just weird in general, bro. His booty got took. He fighting demons. This nigga was cracked. All in my head. This all in my head. But I did see a video of him working out. Bro take all these steroids just to not work out. Just to barely work out. I watched bro working out and he was about to push some weight or something or do something. I forgot. They slapped him on the shoulders. And as he got slapped in the shoulders, he went. Hey, come on, bruh. Fuck you taking testosterone for, brother? Why are you taking testosterone, bro? You know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen a nigga that take testosterone to have less testosterone than this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Just act weird. He just act weird, but no, you don't see no type of testosterone inside this nigga body, bro. Just start taking estrogen, my nigga. Fuck is we talking about?
Both of their views, but that might be a bit of a stretch, as Clav is known for being obsessed with achieving perfection when it comes to his physical appearance, and Peter mostly just seems to be a billionaire that might want to rule the world one day, and is currently using any politician he can to achieve that goal. So I don't really see what would connect him to a streamer, but this lady, I don't know. So 2 things are being used to link Peter to Clavicular's rise. One is that on stream, he winked at the camera and said that a person referred to as P loaned him $150,000. And some people believe this to be Peter Thiel.
I got P. I got you. P loaned me.
He got P for sure. He got P for sure. He did get P. He did get P. He said, P, I got you. He did get P. I'm not gonna lie. Oh.
$150,000 for the car.
Now, a person being referred to as P doesn't really provide any proof, and the wink, although suspicious, also doesn't prove that P is Peter Thiel. And in an interview he did with this woman, he became visibly upset when she suggested that he was being funded by Thiel.
That Peter Thiel backs you?
That is fake news, yeah.
I don't believe you.
You don't believe me?
No. Well, Peter Thiel does. I mean, you get like the correlation, right?
Not really.
Another instance is the fact that Clavicular has said himself multiple times that he was invited to a party by Peter Thiel.
Peter Thiel's trying to get in your...
Dude, that was the craziest one. I swear.
You played that perfectly, bro.
Yeah, I got blacklisted from his events now. That's what I heard.
Bro, I called up Ed the other day and I was like, yo, I got an invite to this party with a bunch of billionaires.
What company was it?
Bro, I don't even know.
Want to stun and stay.
Yeah, let's not even don't even give them the clip, bro. They're listening right now. And then he's like, you can only come on your own. And I'm like, whoa.
But he declined to go, even comparing it to a Diddy party. Now, to me, this seems to be a rabbit hole that could go much deeper, but in a completely different direction than most people think. Do I think Clav was trolling when he said Peter invited him to a party? No. I actually believe that. But the only reason I can picture a 58-year-old man inviting a 20-year-old influencer to his party is that he wanted to start a relationship with him. Because although Thiel is married, another influencer, Jeff Thomas, was identified as his boyfriend, at least up until New Year's Eve 2022, when something happened. Now, multiple sources state that Peter's husband was angry about Jeff being present at Peter's New Year's Eve party. And that's obviously impossible to confirm, because if this guy was his boyfriend and it was supposedly a secret, I don't get why he would be at a party that Thiel's husband would also be present at. But what's widely agreed on is that about 3 months later, Jeff fell to his death at a condo in Miami. And this was a simple open and shut case. The Miami police didn't suspect any foul play, and some sources even claim that he might have fallen while taking a selfie. But since none of us were there, we can't say for sure what happened. But part of the reason it looked so suspicious was because a couple months before the New Year's Eve party, a man that was trying to find dirt on Peter Thiel had invited Jeff to meet him at the fancy Polo Lounge restaurant in Beverly Hills, which is how we got the confirmation that Jeff and Thiel actually met at Coachella in 2015, and that Thiel actually put him in a $13 million mansion somewhere around LA. Now, could he have been trying to do the same thing with Clavicular, and this is why he got a party invite? It's very possible, and that also makes Clav's comparison of Peter's party to a Diddy party a little more spot on. But all of this ties into a conspiracy theory that Peter wanted to somehow take advantage of Clav's influence, which would definitely fit the agenda of a scary billionaire, as the whole looks maxing thing is very influential. But Clav didn't start this movement, and it's actually been going on since the 2010s, when he would have still been a child, but to his credit, he did make it more popular than ever. But in my opinion, this woman, Micah, is who raises the most questions. So, I had never heard of her, and somehow she had $15,000 to pay Clavicular for an interview. And out of everything she could have talked about, she chose to ask him about Palantir and Peter Thiel, which is completely outside of the world Clavicular lives in. This guy isn't involved in politics and fundraising. He walks around Miami and Arizona trying to have sex with women. Out of every influencer Peter Thiel could be associated with, I just failed to see why this guy would be one of them. So I did some research, and this woman is Michaela LaLuz. I hope I said her last name right. And she doesn't even have 30,000 followers on Instagram, and she has less than 100,000 on TikTok. So if anything, it would appear that someone was funding her. And I'm just being fair, because even though I don't agree with everything this guy does, I won't pretend that this narrative makes sense. I'll admit that I was suspicious when he got upset about her asking him about Peter Thiel, but then I had to question, who is this girl? And who gave her $15,000 to pay someone for an interview? Especially in this era where everyone has a podcast. But apparently, she didn't just come out of nowhere. And she has a public LinkedIn profile that makes me very suspicious. She claims to work for a company in the private office of a Dubai prince. Which, right there, shows that whatever she says needs to be analyzed. Because it's well known that to be an influencer in the UAE, there are certain things you have to agree to say and not say. And despite going to college in Canada, she's been working in the UAE since at least 2022. And before that, it says she was a NFT collector? What the fuck am I reading? So it appears that she is funded by the royal family of Dubai, which I only say because she works as an advisor in the Sheikh's private office. But how does someone get in a position like this? It's clear that she already had money before 2022 if she was collecting NFTs, and she appears to have been a manager and actress in some type of children's series. But before that, in 2017, she was also some kind of host, interviewing very prominent people, as she even provided pictures of herself with the former president of Poland, which is something that she was apparently doing while she was a student at Ryerson University. So does the UAE want people to think that this random kick streamer was funded by Peter Thiel? Or does she truly believe this accusation for some unknown reason? Who gave her this information? Now, I will say, it's very interesting that Peter Thiel has made some pretty big investments in the UAE, which would fit with Clav's accusation that Michaela is being funded by Peter Thiel. But her being funded by Peter Thiel would only make sense if maybe Peter was trying to give back at Clavicular for turning down his party invitation. Because theoretically, Peter Thiel's public image is so bad that merely accusing someone of being funded by him would make that person seem less credible. But again, all of this is a bit of a stretch. Her connections to the UAE are not though, and they are very strange to me. But we have to remember that the US runs on a never-ending back and forth distraction war between two sides. And it doesn't start with the average American, it starts with the people funding the political parties that run the country, such as Peter Thiel, a huge political donor. Because remember, if you see a famous person supporting a political party in the US or a politician, it's usually not because that's their actual opinion. It's because they were paid to do so. And this shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. I mean, even some of the boomers realize this. And we're all smart enough to know that each news outlet has a side that's paying them to support this side or that side. And Clav is often referred to in the biased media sources as a right-wing influencer, despite the fact that he stated multiple times that he is not political. Which makes sense. He's not political. I mean, his content is mostly just him going to the club or talking to girls. That is not political. That's called being a single guy in his 20s with a social life. But his extreme lifestyle makes it easy to put him in a certain category. But that doesn't explain why a woman working for the Dubai royal family would make this wild accusation. And as I said, I don't agree with everything Clavicular says or what he does, but I have to call out what appears to be a false narrative when I see one. And I also respect that he's not trying to influence his audience to buy into politics, because it would seem that even he understands it's just a show, and the average politician doesn't care about the people that support them outside of the fact that it's what makes them money. And in my opinion, a political influencer is one of the worst type of influencers, because if you think any of these wealthy and powerful people...
Is this the same person? What the fucky? What the fucky? Okay. Shit.
Care about the life and the hardships of the average voter, I challenge you to go to Beverly Hills right now or Billionaires Row in New York City and get one wealthy person to buy you a cheeseburger. I dare you. Like, damn, bro, I would buy you a cheeseburger.
Your hair and your eyes look so good. You're like beautiful.
Thank you.
You're like an Aryan degenerate goddess.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. You're Aryan too.
I know, but I'm Jewish.
It's okay.
And a lot of people were asking in one of my videos if Clavicular was being funded by Peter Thiel, and my answer is going to be no. But Peter Thiel's business relationships and his relationship with Epstein should be the main focus when people are trying to figure out the end goal of his seemingly evil plans, not a kick streamer that goes to frat parties. To a billionaire, influencers are one of two things, if not both, either a piece of meat or a tool to get support. But Peter Thiel has seemingly the full support of the US government, so I don't think he needs a kick streamer. I'm all for a good conspiracy theory, but this one seemed a little bit too ridiculous.
Hey man, I don't know what the fuck's going on, if we being real, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if that nigga was trying to touch his booty. I wouldn't be surprised if he did touch his booty. 150K? I think that was the number he said. He gave him 150K. Or 100? Or 90? I don't remember what it was, but he gave him a lot of fucking money. I wouldn't be surprised if he was getting his booty touched. You know what I'm saying? But, who the fuck knows? But yeah, there shouldn't be any billionaires. Fuck those guys. They fuck people over, and they're gonna continue to fuck people over. Anyway, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell if nobody told you today. I love you. Peace.